and laugh. It's not funny. It's not fun. Nothing's funny to me. I don't want to go out there and get embarrassed on Monday Night Football in front of everybody.
That's why I'm asking you.
Good morning. What is going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are here to open up another podcast talking everything Arizona Cardinals. Everybody, what is going on? Big shout out to everybody that's currently in the chat right now. We got Juan, Ernest, Olympus, and Marcus. What's up, everybody? Appreciate everybody for tuning in. We are going to have a fun-filled show today, ladies and gentlemen, talking all things Arizona Cardinals, your favorite team, my favorite team. We're going to go ahead and have a very good time today. Obviously, the main topic of choice today, ladies and gentlemen, is talking about Monday Night Football, Cardinals versus Patriots. Do I want us to have a Monday Night Football game? Do I want us to have another primetime game? No, I don't. I don't want us to have another primetime game, but here we are, right? We got one more primetime game, and that's going to be this Christmas as well, playing the Buccaneers. But we're just in a weird situation, ladies and gentlemen, where we're kind of going through the motions, trying to get to the end of the season. I don't know any Cardinal fan, personally, that think we are going to the playoffs. Now, I know there is some people out there in the world that think the Arizona Cardinals can go on a run. Now, I'm not trying to dissuade anybody to, change their opinion about the Arizona Cardinals in the 2022 season. I happen to think that we're cooked. I happen to think that the Arizona Cardinals are going nowhere, but hopefully brighter things towards the end part of this season, right? We got Black Monday coming and the last game of the season, or at least the Monday following the last game of the season. So we got some, good things ahead. We just got to get through these 5 weeks of the Arizona Cardinals. And obviously, we start off with the Patriots versus the Arizona Cardinals on Monday Night Football. Now, big shout out to everybody that's currently in the chat, but I'm curious to figure out if anybody is going to this game. We got a game here on State Farm Stadium. Patriots are coming to town. Is anybody in the chat attending this Monday Night Football game? Now, if there's nobody going, that's cool. That's fine. I completely understand because, yeah, it's tough out here for a Cardinal fan right now, and I don't blame anybody for not trying to spend their money to go watch this team. Now, if you guys haven't done so already, do me a huge favor, smack the like button on this video. Helps out the algorithm and helps out that lonely Arizona Cardinal fan that is looking for a home, looking for a spot to kind of, have therapy sessions, right? So definitely smack up the like button if you guys haven't done so already. And also follow me on all my social platforms. All the handles are going to be below right here, as well as there'll be nice clickable links on the description of this video. So if you haven't followed me on Twitter, if you haven't followed me on Instagram, definitely follow me, shoot me a follow over there. But let's get started, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about Cardinals versus Patriots. Now, before we do, dive into this whole thing, I want to kind of, take a look into history lane pertaining to like what has happened with the Arizona Cardinals and the Patriots in the past. Now, I don't feel like the Patriots is a team that we played very often, right? It happens every, 3 or 4 years. We'll kind of see the Patriots here and there, but let's take a look into memory lane pertaining to what happened in the last games we have met with the Patriots. So this is going to take us into 2004, ladies and gentlemen. 2004, we're going to go back that far back. Now, the Patriots has had our number pertaining to the Arizona Cardinals versus the Patriots. The Patriots has beaten us out of the last 5 times, 4 out of the last 5 times. The last time the Arizona Cardinals beat the Patriots was back in 2012, and that was 20-18. The Arizona Cardinals win over the Patriots. Now, the most recent ones that I remember, obviously, is 2016. Now, I remember that one specifically because I remember Jimmy G was the one who actually was the quarterback in that game because Tom Brady wasn't there. I believe he was actually serving a suspension in that time. And I was like, oh my God, who's Jimmy G, right? We're going to win this game. So that didn't come out to our favor. Obviously, the Arizona Cardinals ended up losing 23-21, the Cardinals lose. And then 2020, the Arizona Cardinals also lose in that game as well. Now, I remember that game very, very specifically, right? That was Cam Newton versus the Arizona Cardinals. And there was a play where Isaiah Simmons coming in as a rookie, I believe there was like a late hit on Cam Newton. And there was like this really, really costly penalty that ended up hurting the Arizona Cardinals. And I believe them getting a field goal ended up winning that game for them, if I can remember that game correctly. So the last 5 times, now granted, we're going back into 2004, 2008, 2012, 2016, and then 2020. So this is a team we see like every 4 years, right? So like we don't see the Patriots very often. Now granted, yes, we played them in 2020. We're going to see them again in 2022. So that's a little bit of a different anomaly right there. But the last 5 times, they have beaten us 4 out of those 5 times. So definitely not a good look for the Arizona Cardinals moving into the Monday Night Football game. Now, I think this game's going to come down to obviously coaches, right? Obviously the players on the field as well, but this game is going to come down to just the brilliance and smarts of which coach is going to be able to I don't know, get the last win, right? I feel like Bill Belichick has always been very, very good at what he does, right? Always taking away what we do best. And what we do best right now, obviously, is DeAndre Hopkins, right? It's just what it is, right? Our offense runs through DeAndre Hopkins. Although I would love to believe that it's going to be running through, Kyler Murray. It runs through DeAndre Hopkins. Like it's obvious, right? There's a stat out there saying that when Kyler Murray has DeAndre Hopkins, we're just a much better team, right? So when we don't have DeAndre Hopkins, we're not that good of a team. So it's kind of one of those situations where we absolutely need DeAndre Hopkins to really kind of go off. Now, I think we will see Marquise Hollywood Brown in this game. I know that there was well, actually, I mean, technically we saw him in last game as well, right? We saw him against the Chargers as well, but this is going to be the second game as well with Marquise Hollywood Brown. Now, we were told that Marquise was going to have limited snaps in that Chargers game, and it almost kind of seemed like he didn't really have limited snaps, right? That we saw him a lot more than I thought we were going to, and he produced, right? He produced, DeAndre Hopkins produced, but I do think that this game is going to come down to just doing everything right? Making sure that we don't beat ourselves up, making sure that we don't have those stupid penalties that we kind of run into a lot, making sure that our timeouts are being used very, very smartly, as well as making sure that Kyler Murray is kept upright. I think that's another big thing that the Arizona Cardinals need to do, right? Now, Kyler Murray hasn't had his best years so far. He's probably had one of his worst years as a quarterback of the Arizona Cardinals. Well, not pertaining to stats, right? But I mean, like, just in general, like him being on the field, I used to be very confident that we're going to win, right? But now it's kind of had a different sway coming into the season right now. Now, right now, he's sitting at 2,300 or 2,359, right? So 2,359 yards passing, 14 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. His QBR rating is 51.1, and he's sitting at the number 23rd spot with that. So in terms of touchdowns, he's 18th. In terms of yards, he's 19th. In terms of interceptions, he's tied at 15th right now. So Kyler Murray hasn't had his best year, right, as an Arizona Cardinal quarterback. Now, is it pertaining to, Cliff? Is it pertaining to just him regressing? We don't 100% know, right? I think we're all kind of going through the motions as Cardinal fans right now. We're trying to find a solution to figure out what is happening with our team when we came off an 11-win season. Now, for a lot of Cardinal fans, this might be confusing, right? For a lot of Cardinal fans that just joined on to the Cardinal fandom maybe in 2019, 2020, 2021. This is kind of one of those things where it's a head scratcher, right? Like, what's going on with the Cardinals? Being a Cardinal fan as long as I am, I've kind of noticed the trend, right? I've noticed the trend for the Arizona Cardinals pertaining to when we are good, we're good for about 1 or 2 years. And then we rebuild for about 3 or 4 years, maybe even 5 years. It's just the history repeats itself over and over again. And there's nothing that kind of changed my mind that the Arizona Cardinals can be good again with the same regime. I feel like we've hit our peak. I feel like everything that Hard Knocks is try to avoid from getting us to watch is what we already know as Cardinal fans, right? We've seen little clippets, we've seen little snippets of, the locker room, and Cliff Kingsbury, although he's trying his darnest, although he's trying to get this team in the right direction. Cliff Kingsbury saying all the right things. Cliff Kingsbury, is trying his best. It honestly seems like he is. I don't think he's given up on this team. I don't think he's given up on the organization. But I think the truth of the nature is that the players almost kind of seem like, okay, like we're listening, like we're hearing you, but we're not listening. And I think that's kind of the situation that we're running into right now as Cardinal fans, where it's obvious, right? You can look at a man to man when you're listening to another man, and there's just nothing going there. So nothing specifically against Cliff as a person, but as a coach and the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, this is the last thing that that Cliff Kingsbury needed for him to keep his job, right? Now, I think a lot of people are kind of talking about it, right? There's a lot of whispers about, towards the end of the season, is Cliff going to lose his job? Is Steve Keim going to lose his job? There's a lot of uncertainty leaving this 2022 season. Now, if we had another owner besides Michael Bidwell, I think we would all be more in a comfortable space to know what's going on. But Michael Bidwell has been one of those guys that we don't know what's going to happen, right? We don't know what's going to happen with Michael Bidwell. It's really his decision. It's his team. So we'll have to figure out what's happening. So another big thing that the Arizona Cardinals need to absolutely do is James Conner, right? James Conner needs to tote that rock. And we've said this multiple times that James Conner needs to hold that ball, or I'm sorry, carry that ball at least 19, 20, 21 times in order for him to get a very, very good game. It's obvious. Now, the moment that we go away from the run game, James Conner isn't effective. But James Conner can't be effective with 7 carries, 10 carries, 11 carries. No, that's the complete opposite. We can't give up on the run game. Now, I know when it works in the beginning, it works very good. But sometimes I feel like when it doesn't work, Cliff Kingsbury goes away from it. Now, he's not the only coach that does that, right? We've seen Sean McVay do it. We've seen other coaches do it as well. But that's something that we need to make sure that we pay attention to, because the run game and making sure that we're a balanced offense is going to be very important going into this Monday Night Football game, because Bill Belichick is going to want to take away our best player. Who's our best player, ladies and gentlemen? That's DeAndre Hopkins. So he's going to do everything in his power to try to take him away, and he's done very good to do so. So I'm a little worried. For sure. So we'll see what happens. We do got a couple super chats that did just chime in. I appreciate you, Alex and Jack. Thank you so very much for the contributions. Let's jump into these super chats. We got my guy saying, need Connor and the run game to be a featured part this game. Facts. Absolute 110%. You are right on the nose right there, my guy. 100%. Now, I've noticed that when James Conner or a run game is established, we are a much better team, right? I feel like it's a closer game than it should be, right? So versus the Chargers, obviously the Cardinals end up losing in a very heartbreaking way with the 2-point conversion being, converted. Cardinals lose by 1 point, but James Conner had a very good game, right? 120 yards, 25 carries. Like, that's kind of what we want to see. Now, James Conner did get paid, so I'm expecting that type of result as well. Now, if we take a look at the Saints game, Eno Benjamin, Kyler Murray, Ingram, they all ran the ball, right? Eno Benjamin had 12 carries, 92 yards. Kyler Murray, 7 carries, 30 yards. Keontae Ingram, 9 carries, 14 yards. So maybe not as effective for Ingram, but we're trying to stay as consistent as we possibly can, right? Now, let's take a look at the Rams versus the Cardinals game. The Cardinals ran the ball 21 times. With who? James Conner. Granted, he only had 69 yards, but he had 2 touchdowns. So, that's what we need to see, right? As a Cardinal fan, we need to see a consistent run game in order for this offense to flourish as it should be, right? As it should flourish. Let's get over here to Jack with the super chat. Appreciate you. He says, are you going to the game on Christmas versus Tampa? So that game I'm not going to. So it was either going to be a debate for me in my mind if either I was going to go to Monday night or I was going to go to Christmas. Now, I think most likely I'm not going to go to Christmas game. I'm most likely going to go to the Monday night game. Do I want to go to Monday night? I probably don't, because I don't know. This season is just absolutely bad. It's bad. And I always find myself buying an $18 Minchelada, which I probably shouldn't be doing. But it's, I just spend money there, and I know I shouldn't be. Obviously, I don't want any money going to Michael Bidwell, but I have season tickets already. So the tickets have already been bought. But if there's 2 games left at home, I think the one that I'm really going to go to is probably Monday night over Christmas, because obviously I got a little girl. She's 1 year old, and I want to make sure that Christmas time is going to be for the family, and I want to make sure that I'm here when she's opening presents and stuff like that. So just making it an all-day event. So Christmas most likely is a game that I'm not going to be going to. Now, I do have Christmas tickets to give away if anybody's interested in those Christmas tickets. So just FYI, let me know in the DMs in social media if you guys are interested, and we can come up with some sort of way to fairly distribute those 2 tickets / parking ticket that I have. So, appreciate the super chat, both of you, Alex and Jack. Thank you so very much. You helped the channel keep running. Thank you so very much. But let's continue, right? I think, Alex, you put, nail on the head right there, right? With the hammer there. I think you're 100% right. The run game needs to be absolutely imperative. It happened in the Rams game, the Saints game, and we were so close for that Chargers game. So the games where we're pretty close in terms of losing by a score or anything like that, I feel like our run game was very much established, and I think that's exactly what we need to do. Let's take a look at the Raiders game, which honestly seems like a very, very long time ago. That Raiders game, although we did come back, that that was just such a weird game, right? We had 8 carries from Darrell Williams, 8 carries from Eno Benjamin, 5 carries from Kyler, and then 7 carries from James Conner. It was just a really, really weird game just in general, ladies and gentlemen. But yes, the run game's absolutely imperative to get a win over Bill Belichick, because he's going to try to get DeAndre Hopkins out of this game. He's absolutely going to trying to get DeAndre Hopkins out of this game for sure. We got my guy Andrew saying, all I want for Christmas is a new GM. Well, brother, me and you both. I think all we want for Christmas right now is a brand new regime. Right? I think we all want a brand new regime, right? We're kind of waiting and sitting on this weird spot right now as Cardinal fans. Like I said a little earlier in the stream, we got 5 games left, but there's so much Cardinal fans that just have no hope, right? There's some Cardinal fans that do have hope, and that's fine. Keep the hope alive. But truth of the nature is that, y'all, like, we got 5 games left, and honestly, I can't wait for Black Monday. Like, that's how bad it is right now. Now, I'm going to continue to watch because I'm a Cardinal fan through and through, and I want to see these young players flourish, right? I want to see these young players get better. I want to see Majay Sanders. I want to see Cameron Thomas. I want to see, Victor Dimukichi, although we haven't seen him very often, but, Zaven Collins, Isaiah Simmons. I want to see those young players get better. Like, I truly do. And that's one of the main reasons why I'm going to keep watching. Now, obviously on Sundays, Thursdays, and Mondays, am I going to be upset if we lose? Probably, right? I know I'm going to say right now, I'm not going to be upset, right? I'm like, oh, the season's over. I'm not going to be upset. But honestly, I know myself, right? I know myself as a Cardinal fan, and I'm just very emotional when I watch football. And I think it kind of bleeds through, like, we shouldn't be here, right? We shouldn't be here as an organization with the talent that we have. And it sucks that how this season has ended, or not ended, but has transpired as a Cardinal fan right now. So there's some people that have hope, and that's fine. Like I said, keep the hope alive. That's probably what gets us through the day, right? Hope is what gets us through the day. So, Kyler Murray, yes, he hasn't had his best season so far as a Cardinal fan, or as a Cardinal quarterback, but we got 5 more games. Maybe you can pat some stats. Now, yes, he did miss a few games, but man, he's only had 14 passing touchdowns. Like, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy to kind of see that. 7 interceptions, and it's not a good look for Kyler, obviously moving through. So, all right, let's continue with this game here. What else do we need to do, right? Keys to success here for the Arizona Cardinals. We're going to continue to keep chugging through. Kyler Murray needs to play out of his mind. I do want to see Kyler Murray still run the ball, right? I still want to see that. Now, we haven't yet seen a season where Kyler Murray isn't hurt. Kyler Murray got hurt again this year, and I think that's a kind of a level of concern too, going into his 5th year, right? Going into his 5th year, we want to see Kyler Murray just be healthy throughout the rest of the season. Now, are we going to see that? I don't know. It's kind of one of those things where it's like, all right, well, let's prove it. Let's prove Kyler Murray can stay healthy for a season. But that's also on the GM, right? We need to get an offensive line that's going to be able to keep Kyler Murray upright. And as of right now, since Kyler Murray has been a franchise quarterback, or the quarterback coming into the Cardinals, he just hasn't had a good, solid offensive line, right? So that's definitely something on the checklist of the next GM or the current GM. Oh, which I would hate to say, but that would be something on the checklist, which I would love for them to kind of, take over. So another super chat coming in here. Appreciate you. Got Alex coming up here. Says the run game was pretty good against the Eagles too. Yeah, no, let's take a look at the Eagles game now that you provided a super chat here. Thank you so very much for doing that, by the way. Let's take a look at the Eagles game. That was a closer game than I thought it was going to be as well, right? We ended up losing that game by 3 points, and you're right? That was a good running game. Now, it was spread out, but right? So you got James Conner with 9 carries. You got Kyler Murray with 4 carries. Eno Benjamin with 8 carries. Darrell Williams with 3. Now, James Conner, let's focus on him. 9 carries, 55 yards. Although on paper, that looks pretty decent, right? I want to see James Conner, as long as he can stay healthy throughout the entirety of this season, James Conner should be toting the rock at least 17 plus times a game. There's absolutely no reason why why James Conner can't be toting the rock that much. He needs to. He absolutely needs to tote that rock. I need to see it, y'all. I need to see it happen. James Conner was just paid this last offseason, right? And I was one of those guys that said James Conner needs to come back. James Conner needs to get paid, right? And he got paid. Not David Johnson type money. Like, we're not paying running backs that type of money anymore, but like, he got paid. Good for him. But we need to see it because James Conner got hurt as well. So I need to see him at least 17 plus carries, because if he becomes that workhorse for us again, it opens up the offense for the Arizona Cardinals in a beautiful way. Trust me when I say that. Jack and Alex coming up clutch with another super chat. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so very much. He says Paris Johnson from Ohio State is the best offensive line prospect. Oh boy, we're going to talk about prospects for days. Oh yeah, I'm excited, y'all. This offseason is going to be good. Trust me when I say that. We're going to be talking about who the Arizona Cardinals should pick, free agents, the draft picks. Now, granted, I don't get what I want a lot of the times because Steve Keim has always been in the helm since I've had this, this podcast on YouTube. But I mean, I'm hoping if we do get a change, we can start focusing on a different approach, right? And that is building from the trenches, whether you say it's the offensive side or the defensive side. If you look at our depth chart right now, like, yes, we got pieces, but a lot of people need to get paid, right? There's a narrative out there saying that the Arizona Cardinals are going to have so much cap room going into the season, right? And this offseason, I apologize. Coming into this offseason, the Arizona Cardinals are going to have one of the most cap space friendly off seasons. But if you really think about it, ladies and gentlemen, we got to pay a lot of people. We got to. Marquise Hollywood Brown, Byron Murphy, Zach Allen. Those guys aren't going to be cheap. They ain't going to be cheap. And we got a lot of players that are on 1 year seasons at this very moment, right? So we got to make big decisions going on here. Now, me, JJ Watt, I don't know how you guys feel about JJ Watt, but I don't know if I'm willing to provide a spot for JJ Watt. I love him. And he is being as healthy as he possibly can this year. And great for him. But I don't know if I'm willing to risk a chunk of money to be put on another defensive player, which is not for the future. Now, if he comes back, that's cool. I'm fine with it. I mean, I'm not going to be pissed off about it, but like, I feel like I would rather allocate that money to get another offensive lineman to help out Kyler Murray if the draft doesn't work out to our advantage, right? Because there's some good draft prospects out there. There's some good draft prospects, right? Either the cornerback, the edge position, or offensive line. That's what I'm looking for. I swear, if Steve Keim stays in this position and he goes for another linebacker, boy, oh my goodness. It's going to be rough. It's going to be rough out here. And I'm not sure if I'm quite there yet, right? Like, we need to start building smart. And that's just not something the Cardinals have done so far for the Cardinals moving forward. So I'm curious to figure out how you guys feel about JJ Watt. Would you bring JJ Watt back in? Now, granted, I don't think he's going to be asking for big time money, right? I don't think it's going to be like top of the chain, but like, you also got to keep into consideration that he's going to be more expensive than somebody else, right? Because it's the name that comes along with JJ Watt. So I'm curious to figure out if you guys are, would bring him back, right? Obviously in a cap friendly deal. I think that would be very ideal for the Arizona Cardinals. But as of right now, JJ Watt is, let's take a look at his contract here right now. JJ Watt, so 2021 to 2023. I'm wondering if that's going to be, let me see. Maybe no, I don't think JJ Watt's signed until 23. I think he's not signed till that year. Let's take a look here. So JJ Watt is, so 2021 to 2022 is when he's getting paid. His base salary last year was $2 million. His base salary this year is $11 million. If you take a look at the cap hit, 2021, his cap hit was like close to $5 million. This year, his cap hit is like close to $16 million. Wow. And in 2023, it seems like he still has a cap hit of $7 million, but it almost kind of seems like he's not signed. He might be like an unrestricted free agent. I don't know. I got to take a look a little bit deeper into that. But JJ Watt right now, like this year, $15 million, like close to $60 million hitting the cap right now. So it's pretty rough right now. So we'll see moving forward. I'm curious. Let's see what you guys say about JJ Watt. We got my guy Andrew says JJ Watt should retire on good terms, regardless of yeah, and that's the thing too, right? Like if JJ Watt retires, I think this would be a perfect time to do so, right? He had a scare, like a health scare. He got a new kid, so like maybe it might be time to kind of hang up the cleats. Now he's our leader in sacks right now, and that's not saying a lot for Cardinal fans right now. He's leading sacks for the Arizona Cardinals, and let me tell you right now, we've talked about it coming into this offseason that we need somebody to be able to provide us sacks, right? To get pressure. JJ Watt is leading the team right now with 6.5 sacks, and we're going into week 14. Yo, that's not that great. You know what I mean? That's not that great. We got 5 games left. Yes, he could still pad up some stats, but man, that's not good. It's not good for Cardinals. We've talked about it, right? We've talked about it verbatim coming into the season, and a lot of Cardinal fans were telling me to calm down, right? It's going to be fine. And being that JJ Watt's our sack leader is not a good look, at least in my mind. This team needs leadership, hands down. Oh, facts. Oh, absolutely. And that's what I want, right? I wanted to see a different approach coming into this offseason. If we do somehow bring back, Keim, which, man, I don't know if I can fathom, right? I don't know if I can fathom I don't know if I can fathom a brand new season. Imagine a brand new season with Keim and Cliff. Man, how will the fan base accept that, right? I don't know if the fan base will accept that at that very moment, but I mean, we'll have to kind of wait and see. I'm excited to take a look at new mock drafts as well. So if you know anybody out there that has mock drafts that they're throwing out, like, a lot, let me know. I'm curious to figure out who other people would want for the Arizona Cardinals, or how their draft board kind of, lays out. Because, yeah, I mean, at this point, it's thinking off season at this very moment, right, ladies and gentlemen? I don't think there's any other rhyme or reason other than saying that it's off season here. We got 5 games left, but it doesn't really seem like there's a hope chance in the world. Now, I think there is like maybe 1% chance that the Arizona Cardinals can move into a playoff spot, but like everything needs to work out for us. And I mean, everything needs to work out for the Arizona Cardinals. And so far, nothing's worked out for the Arizona Cardinals, if I can be absolutely, completely 100% correct. So let's continue with this Cardinals Patriots talk right now. We got the Patriots right now sitting at 6-6. Right now, they're at the 4th in their division. So they got the Bills at 9-3, you got the Dolphins at 8-4, the Jets at 7-5, and then you got the Patriots at 6-6. That AFC West over there is completely stacked. That's an awesome East. Now, at one point, the Patriots used to run through the East like it was nobody's business. Honestly, you're seeing a change in the NFL right now, where you're seeing the Bills at the very top. You're seeing the Dolphins do very good things. And then you got the Jets actually becoming a good team. Like, who would have thunk it, right? That the Jets were going to have a better record than the Arizona Cardinals moving into, week 14 this year, right? Who would have thought that? But the Jets are doing really good. Kudos to him for them for doing that. The Patriots are sitting at 6-6. If any chance that they might have to try to squeeze their way into a playoff spot, or maybe even a wild card spot, they need to win this game. This Monday Night Football game is absolutely crucial for the Patriots to win. I don't think they want to find themselves at 6-7. Now, the Arizona Cardinals, yes, do we have things to play for? Yeah, I mean, we do, right? We have pride to play for, right? We have culture, culture to play for, right? I know we've been fell victim of, saying things like, hey, the Cardinals don't have culture, right? The Cardinals don't have culture at all. And I do agree with that. I don't think we have a winning culture in this organization. I don't think we do. But the Patriots need to win this game. If any hope in chance and prayer of them making the playoffs, they need to win this game. It's imperative for them. Now, there is a playoff draft simulator that I actually do like using, right? I don't know if you guys ever use the ESPN draft simulator. There is a chance the Arizona Cardinals can squeak into the playoffs, but man, so much things need to happen in order for us to do this. Even if we go on a 5-game winning streak, ladies and gentlemen, let's just say we live in a world where the Arizona Cardinals go on a 5-game winning streak, right? You need let's take a look at the NFC. You need the who's the wild cards right now? We got Seattle in a wild card. We got the Cowboys in a wild card. And fifth seed. Who's the third seed? Third seed, fifth seed. Okay, no, yeah. So let's see here. So who's the 7th seed right now as it stands? So we got Seattle. We got so Cowboys, New York, and Dallas. So those are the wild card spots that we're looking in right now, right? Those are the wild card spots that we're looking at for right now, because the division seems very maybe attainable. Maybe Brock Purdy is going to be the guy for the next 5 years. So, for 5 games. So can they go on a losing streak? Yeah, they can, right? They can. But they have a very good defense over there. So in order for us to try to sneak a way into the playoffs, you need the Seattle Seahawks, the Giants, and the Cowboys, which right now the Cowboys are sitting at 9 wins. So good luck with that, right? So the Cowboys don't even need to do anything other than just kind of coast and win one more game. Right now, the only people that we can look at is Seattle with 7 wins, and then you got the Giants with 7 wins as well. Now, they have a tie as well, so they're 7-4-1 right now. So you need them to basically lose out. Do you see that happening? I don't know about that, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know about that at all. We got my guy Andrew coming up here with the super chat. He says, "What to see Cards vets replacing coaches?" Sorry, want to see Cards. Oh, that'd be cool. Fitz for honestly, I would love Fitzgerald to be like somewhere in the front office. I think that would be ideal. That would be absolutely ideal in my mind. Like if we can get him somewhere in the front office, that would be awesome. Coach, probably not. I don't know if he wants to be a coach. If he does, cool. I'm game for it. But like, it's a lot of grinding. It's a lot of putting work in the office, right? You know, taking time away from your family. You got to be built from a different cloth to do something like that, right? Now, I'm not sure if Larry Fitzgerald would do that. He's more of a family man, at least in my eyes. I don't think he would do that. But if we can get him in the front office, that would be dope. I would be completely down with that for sure. That would be dope. So yeah, continuing to talk about the playoffs here. Yeah, I mean, Seattle, the Giants, both with 7 wins. The Cardinals at 4 wins right now, right? So even if we get 3 of the 4 wins, we're sitting at 8 wins. You need Seattle to keep losing, and you need the Giants to keep losing. Like, and I mean keep losing by losing streak, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I mean by keep losing. So it's very unattainable. I don't want to seem like a negative Nancy, but anything that the Arizona Cardinals should have done should have been done earlier in the season. The time has been cooked at this very moment for the Arizona Cardinals. I know there's people that want to have hope. I get it, right? I'm right there with you. But nah, as you can tell, this fan base is turned off, y'all. One of the main reasons where I'm really curious to go to Monday Night Football is I'm curious to figure out how much people show up. That's why I'm really curious about. Like, right? I can care less if the Cardinals win or lose, to be honest with you. I'm curious to figure out how many people show up in this game. Cardinal fans are checked out, ladies and gentlemen. They're checked out. If you haven't noticed, check the stream out. This stream's got 43 people. We peaked at like 55. We peaked at 55 when 3 or 4 weeks ago when we were doing this podcast, we had over 100 people because people wanted to talk about the Cardinals. Now, nah. Most people that I've talked about, most people say, on to the Suns. That's what they tell me. On to the Suns. Don't want to put my time and effort in the Cardinals. Don't blame them. But most people don't want to talk about the Cardinals. Now me, I'm always going to talk about them, right? It's a sickness within me that always makes me want to talk about my favorite team. Obviously, I like all the teams here in Arizona, Coyotes, Diamondbacks, as well as the Suns as well. But we're here, right? We're grinding away with the next 5 games and have to kind of sit here. So let's continue to talk about Patriots versus Cardinals. Now, we went with the history already, right? We know that the Patriots has had our number. The last 5 times they've beaten us, 4 out of the 5 times. As of right now, I think in the last 15 games, they have the lead over us. They have 8-7. So they're 8 wins to our 7 wins. So they have beaten us with the last 15 games as well. And then their defense looks pretty good as well. Now, do I have faith in Mac Jones? I don't think Mac Jones is a great quarterback. I think he's a good quarterback, right? I mean, he's decent, maybe decent. I would probably put him at decent. Do I think Kyler Murray is a better quarterback than him? Yeah, 100%. I think Kyler Murray is a better quarterback than Mac Jones. Heck yeah, right? Now, Mac Jones has missed games. He has missed games this year as well. He's 24 years old. He's at 1,900 yards. So 1,963 yards to be exact. 7 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. QBR is at 35.4. Last year, Mac Jones looked pretty good, right? I mean, a lot of people were very excited about Mac Jones, but now he's not looking very good, right? Second year coming into the season, he had some injuries, and he seems to be kind of maybe a little bit below the okay quarterbacks. So I know Bill Belichick's going to want to win this game. He wants to stay within the East, the AFC East. The Cardinals, I know, want to do everything in their power to win as well. I just don't know, right? I think we're running into a buzzsaw in this very scenario. Yeah. I do see some. Whole Cardinal team is golfing today. Are they really golfing today? Oh boy, 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 boy. I mean, I don't know if you're lying, but honestly, I wouldn't doubt that they're probably golfing today. Honestly, I thought it was pretty funny that like the Arizona Cardinals, right? They had a bye week, and yeah, I mean, right, bye weeks are there for everybody to rest. I agree, but like to have Cardinals like to take the whole week off because we deserve it, like right? It's wild. Like even if you don't practice, maybe bring them in to like get some film study or something. It seems cooked, y'all. Like it's the time in the air, like even the feeling in the air, even in the stadium, feels deflated. It feels deflated. Feels deflating as a Cardinal fan right now. It's wild. It's wild. What's up, Jonathan? Jonathan says, what you might, I think. So, okay, all right, Jonathan, I see you. All right. I mean, if you think we're going to the playoffs, hey, bless your heart. Bless your heart. 5 games left, right? I mean, there's still a lot of time left. So, I mean, let's see what happens with the Cardinals. I mean, you might be one of the few. You might be one of the few that feel that. What's up, Chris? Chris says, if we lose, it just means that the pressure will be put on Bidwell from the media to fire Keim and Cliff. So it's all good for us to get Sean Payton. Yeah, so I love the idea of Sean Payton. Trust me when I say Sean Payton is the number one person in my board that I want to get. Sean Payton is that guy. Sean Payton is what everybody should be saying. That's what we should be saying. Sean Payton should be the dude. He's going to be expensive, though. A, financially expensive, and then B, draft capital expensive. I'm worried to figure out what's going to happen with the Arizona Cardinals. I want a first round draft pick this year. I'm not going to lie to you, ladies and gentlemen. I want a first round draft pick, especially because we're going to be maybe top 10. We're going to have a top 10 draft pick. I want to get that top 10 draft pick. Maybe we can kind of tell the Saints, hey, 2024, buddy, I got you with the first round pick right there. Maybe we can give them some seconds, some third picks. I don't know, some third round picks. But, man, I really want that first round pick. I really do. I do agree with you that heat has been set on Michael Bidwell, right? Here's the thing. Heat should have been on Michael Bidwell from the beginning of this year to get rid of these two. Instead, he just extended them. He just cost himself some more money. So for somebody that's a smart billionaire, right? A person that's a billionaire, I don't think he put himself in the best position because now we're sitting at 4-8, which honestly, some fans, maybe the 5%, the 10% think we can win out, right? Thinks that we can land at a 9-8 team. I don't know if that can happen. I truly don't. If it happens, I guess, cool. I mean, it's not going to really accomplish anything. Are we going to get to the playoffs? I don't know. Billionaires aren't always smart. Yeah, I mean, agree with that for sure. Billionaires aren't always smart. You're right. They just got a lot of money. They just got a lot of power and a lot of money to cover up a lot of the dumb things that they do, right? Yeah, billionaires aren't always smart. They just got a lot of money and a lot of power to cover up a lot of the dumb things that they do. Facts. Absolute factual. Just here we are, right? Here we are as the Cardinal fans right now. I know I'm like 50 people right now, right? 50 people right now seem to care at the Cardinals. It's crazy to me. And I get it, right? We're at school. We're at work. Our families. Got 50 people here right now. Appreciate you. Appreciate all every single one of you boys and girls in here. Thank you so very much. We got Illadre here right now with another super chat. Appreciate you, brother. He says, I'll take John Robinson. He knows how to draft. Brother, honestly, you know what's funny to me? That I know that there's a lot of Titan fans that actually are sad to see John Robinson go. John Robinson truly believed like he cared about the position and the team. Now, was it a mistake that he ended up moving away from AJ Brown? Probably one of the biggest mistakes that cost his job. Probably. Did you guys see the job from the Philly fans that were flipping off and basically flipping off the billionaires because of AJ Brown. AJ Brown going off and torching the Titans. Did you not see that video? Did you not see that video? Yeah, bro. honestly, I truly do believe one of the main reasons that John Robinson got fired was because the ownership was basically getting heckled by that Philly fan base. If you guys didn't watch that video, I highly recommend you guys take a look or try to find it. Philly fans heckling ownership of the Titans. And of course, because A.J. Brown went off, and I mean went off on them, it gave him a little bit more juice, a little bit more fire to get rid of John Robinson. Now, there's a couple other things that happened, right, too. His draft prospects hasn't really shooken out, right? Caleb Farley, which I was excited about in the draft. Now, granted, he was hurt, and a lot of GMs didn't want to touch him with a 6-foot pole. He ended up taking an opportunity on Caleb Farley, and I don't think he's really shaken out. He hasn't really shaken out. So, there's more things that happen with John Robinson as well. But, yeah, there's a lot of Titan fans that feel bad for him. But I mean, that's an organization that doesn't want to settle for mediocrity, and I love it. I truly do love it, right? Sometimes in this position, you need to take all the emotion out, and I get it, right? It takes the human side of it all out, right? And I think that's one thing that it's so hard to be put in this position as a GM because literally it feels like the world is on your shoulders. And it is. You got the world of an organization on your shoulders from the fans, from the ownership, which I mean billionaires that have trust in you to build this team correctly. You got the world on your shoulders, ladies and gentlemen. And John Robinson was a pretty good one, right? But he messed up a few drafts and boom, he was out. But it's wild to me, ladies and gentlemen. It's wild to me that we are sitting right now with Steve Keim. 10 years with Steve Keim. One playoff win with Steve Keim. Maybe one time that we've won the division with Steve Keim. And he has had this job as long as he has had. Wow. That tells you right there, ladies and gentlemen, what this organization feels about the fans. What this organization feels about winning. You get me in a conversation with Michael Bidwell, I will give him the honest truth. This ain't right. The vision of what Steve Keim thought this was going to come out and shake out, it didn't work. It's wild to me that we're right here right now. And that Steve Keim has had this job for as long as he had. We have some people saying that Steve Keim only looked good because Bruce Arians was the one who was quote unquote getting those draft picks, quote unquote helping him out. Got some people saying that Bruce Arians was the one doing that, and when Steve Keim's actual job came up and the opportunity, he fumbled every chance he can get. Ladies and gentlemen, the Arizona Cardinals right now, with the draft picks that the Arizona Cardinals has since 2005, like the oldest first round pick right now that we have on our roster is DJ Humphries. He got paid, but do you guys remember DJ Humphries before he got paid? This man was hurt every single year. It felt like every single year he was hurt. DJ Humphries is the only one before 2018 that's still on this roster. The only one. First round pick. Hassan Reddick gone. Josh Rosen, we know. Robert Dimikichi, who? Jonathan Cooper? No, nobody. So it's wild to me that we're here, right? It's crazy that we're here. Michael Bidwell needs to look at himself in the mirror. He does. He needs to get his buddiness out of that, man. It's crazy. What's up, Bass? Appreciate you for being here. He says Steve Keim takes Andy Isabella over Metcalf. 2 years in a row, QBs, first rounds. 2 years in a row, linebackers, first rounds. Drafts 5'1" to 5'5" wide receivers. Bro, I mean, you ain't wrong, man. You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. Andrew up there says, Bidwell, all we want is change, even if it screws us temporarily. Facts. We're moving in the right direction. If we do get Sean Payton, and if we somehow get into the playoffs, that's an absolute win for the Arizona Cardinals. But are we expecting Sean Payton to do this right? No, we're looking for the long term. That's what we're looking for. This ain't working with us, but you're right. Steve Keim is always going to forever be the guy that took Andy Isabella over Metcalf. And not just Metcalf, ladies and gentlemen. There's Deontay Johnson. I think that's Deontay Johnson. There's also Terry McLaurin. Are you crazy? Is that how we evaluate? And see, here it is. I appreciate you, Ed. Thank you so very much for doing that. Thanks for the comment and giving us a little bit more to talk about. If you're a GM, I know the narrative and the thought, and everybody has this thought in their head that was Cliff's pick, right? That Cliff Kingsbury wanted Andy Isabella. Why would you trust a man that's put in this year for 2 years in the NFL and giving him what he like? Andy Isabella over DK Metcalf? Who's gonna one that's gonna be paying for that? Steve Keim made the decision, although maybe it's true. Probably, maybe Cliff did want him, right? Maybe Cliff did want him. Who's going to pay for it? Steve Keim for making that decision. So you might be right. Maybe Cliff did want. Cliff had no experience in the NFL. No experience. Let's give him what he wants, ladies and gentlemen. It's like we just did everything backwards. Did everything backwards. It's frustrating to see. It absolutely is. Michael says Murray over Bosa. Remember that. Oh, I remember it. I remember it. I remember it. Trust me, I remember it. And I know there's no receipts to back this. And I don't expect anybody to believe me here, ladies and gentlemen. I don't expect anybody to believe me here because nobody knew me back in 2018. Maybe nobody knew me in 2019. That's fine. But if you ask the people I know personally, and I know you don't know the people personally, but it's fine. I didn't want Kyler Murray originally. I didn't. I wanted to roll with Josh Rosen. With one more year, I was willing to and now I was going to be wrong, right? We know Josh Rosen. Josh Rosen sucks. He's terrible. But that would give more opportunity for the new quarterbacks they came in. Originally, I didn't want Kyler Murray. I truly didn't. But because we got him, I had to adapt. Because we got him, I was like, okay, cool. Let's rock and roll. Let's do it. Okay. I've seen some flashes. I've seen some good things. Cool. But you rarely have the opportunity to get a first-round pick. Rarely get an opportunity for a first-round pick. And when you have a bona fide star like Nick Bosa, it was really hard for somebody to try to convince me that we should go quarterback over that edge rusher. It was so hard for it to convince, and nobody convinced me. I was still shocked. I was stunned that we went back-to-back quarterbacks. Trust me when I say this, ladies and gentlemen, and you don't need to trust me. I'm just telling you. Originally, I didn't want Kyler. I didn't. And just because I didn't want Kyler back then doesn't mean I want him now. Kyler's our quarterback, but Kyler gets traded. Kyler won't be my quarterback anymore. I'm a Cardinal fan, not a Kyler fan. You know what I mean? I support who is on my team. That's as simple as that. If Kyler gets traded, best for him. I hope he doesn't burn us. I hope his career doesn't, shake out as good as I think he's going to become. But I'm a Cardinal fan. Straight. So, and that's the thing too, right? Steve Keim picked Josh Rosen, right? Steve Keim picked Josh Rosen. We did trade up to get Josh Rosen, so we got him as well, another whiff. Why couldn't we trade up to get Josh Allen? Why couldn't we trade up to get another quarterback? And there's that big rumor out there that I'm not sure if you guys know, but Bruce Arians came out and said that he wanted to get Patrick Mahomes. And there was already rumblings that Kansas City, coming from the very top of the 20s, was going to come down to get Patrick Mahomes at number, was it 12? I think it was 12, 13, something like that. 11, 12, 13, it was around there. There was rumors and speculation saying that Kansas City loved him so much that they were going to move from the very tip top of where they were at way back down to get a higher draft pick to get Patrick Mahomes. BA came out and said he loved Patrick Mahomes. But Steve Keim said, no way, Jose. It's too much draft capital. What we are sitting at 15, right? We're sitting at 15 at the moment. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think we got Hassan Reddick in that draft. We could have moved up 4 spots to get him. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. There's no other fan base that accepts it except for us. Only when crap hits the fan, then we start kind of rioting, right? We start kind of bickering back and forth. But Keim is messing up these draft picks from the jump, y'all. I believe BA said he wanted Patrick Mahomes because of his no risk and no biscuit. Yeah, I mean, yeah. No risk and no biscuit, buddy. Baby. That's one thing that I loved about BA. I really did, truly did. Now, did the players love BA? I don't know, right? Maybe he was too hard on him. Maybe calling a player like DJ Humphries, knee deep. Maybe it wasn't a good thing. I loved it. I love the accountability. There shouldn't be any rhyme or reason why Steve Keim is on here. There really shouldn't be. Like, it's wild. It's absolutely wild. And the players that we do get right, we just let them walk. We just let them walk. So it's just the unfortunate part about being a Cardinal fans, right? I know a lot of people are saying F Keim, F Keim, F Keim. Yeah, I mean, we honestly should have said F Keim, y'all. We should have said F Keim at the end of the last year. But we had so many fans that were saying we're an 11-win team. Mike, calm down. So many fans that were saying, Mike, we were about to go to the playoffs in year 2. Mike, calm down. No, I knew this was going to happen. I felt it in my bone that Steve Keim should have been fired from the jump. Cliff had really no reason to be here as long as he was here as well. But I mean, I guess the progression helped him out, right? Helped a lot of Cardinal fans put the wool over their eyes and saying, hey, we're going to go Super Bowl next. But I mean, we're 4-8 now, 5 games left. Most fans here don't want to talk about the Cardinals because we're at 57 viewers right now. I think we peaked at 57. This might be the peak right now. Cardinal fans are checked out, y'all. And those certain, yeah, exactly. 100%. Those same fans aren't watching. Yeah, you might be right on that, Andrew. Facts. There's only a certain amount of fans that actually love to talk about the Cardinals. And I mean talk about the Cardinals when things hit the ground, hit the wall on the fan and things go foo, 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 foo. There's only a certain amount of them because when things go good, there's the Cardinal fandom. When things go bad, goodbye. I'd rather golf. What other games are on? Sun season. It doesn't work like that. At least in my mind, I'm not in this to be like, oh my God, we're hitting the stride, ladies and gentlemen. No, I'm still giving y'all content. I'm still giving out here, mustering the fact that we're probably not going anywhere this season, but I'm here. I'm here to talk about it. I know there's a lot of people, right? I'm here. I'm going to continue to be here too. I ain't going anywhere. Because I love to talk about the team regardless. It's just what it is. I love to talk about my favorite team. I used to watch the Arizona Cardinals. Now, I get it. There's people out there that have been longer fandom than I have, and I give you absolute kudos for doing so. I used to watch the Cardinals in 2009 to 2012, 13, something like that, with my head scrunched up into my couch because of how bad my head hurt. But I was watching the damn games in and out because I was hoping that they were going to turn it around one year or another. It's crazy. It's crazy. You're right. Those are the same fans that aren't watching. I agree. I thought we were going to win against the Chargers too. There was hope. Even the Cardinals team said that they thought they were going to win against the Chargers as well. There's a lot of hope coming into that game, and it's just nothing happened. That's funny. Bass says, everyone feels sorry for me because I'm a Cardinals fan. Damn, I feel sorry for myself. I know nothing's going to change. Yeah. We got to demand the change. That's it. You just got to demand it. Andrew, I'm from Ohio. There's nobody that wants to talk about the Cardinals here. I appreciate you, Andrew. Thank you so very much. Chris, what's up, Chris? I am taking my fire Kime side. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's go. So that's one of the main reasons why I go to the games nowadays. You know what I mean? Because I have a jersey with a tape over the name of the guy, and it says Fire Kime. That's why I'm going to the game. I'm going to protest, silent protest, even if it's just me. I don't care. That's why I'm going to the games, ladies and gentlemen, to give somebody a chuckle, to give somebody a laugh, and to give that narrative out there. Fire Kime should be the number one thing that if you are going to the game on Monday or Christmas, take your Fire Kime signs. I want to see at least 3, 4, 5, 10 people with the signs out there because it's the truth of the nature. He needs to go. This man has been a thorn on our sides for the last 5 or 6 years, and he keeps lying to us in and out. Trey McBride, I'm sorry for the young man, but this guy at this point, I know he's a rookie. I get it. But being that you're a second round pick and being that you're the guy that we were picked very high of, so far we haven't seen Trey McBride in the eyes that Steve Keim saw Trey McBride. I don't know what Steve Keim's seeing in these draft picks. And can we stop having fans get so excited about Steve Keim draft picks, y'all? Nothing's changed. We need to get him out. I want to start being excited about my draft picks. I really, truly do. But with Steve Keim there, I just don't see it happening. I'm going to Monday Night Football. I think. I gotta take a look at the calendar. I think I'm going to Monday Night Football. But if I do, I'm taking my jersey. Fire Keim. Needs to happen, y'all. We got somebody asking here, is there any good GMs? Well, honestly, if you really think about it, GMs, right? Their number one job is to be an evaluator. Their number one job is to manage the contracts and making sure that we're under cap, right? That's the job of the GM, to build it in their eyes of building a roster. Honestly, we can even pick somebody up, right? Steve Keim got this job. He wasn't a GM to begin with. Steve Keim was not a GM coming into this role. I don't know if anybody remembers that. I know it was 10 years ago, but Keim was not a GM when he got this position. He was a scout to start, and he worked his way up. That's how Steve Keim became a GM. Obviously, becoming the buddy of Michael Bidwell's also didn't hurt him, but that's how he became a GM. So even if we get somebody that's worked their hard-earned time to do that, I have more confidence in that newbie coming in here as opposed to drafting somebody else in the vision of Steve Keim because it ain't working. It's kind of where I'm at right now. So don't think of it as like we need somebody else that has the GM experience. Literally, Cliff didn't have NFL experience. He learned on the job. Keim didn't have GM experience. He learned on the job. My hope and thoughts and prayers that we were going to get my thoughts and hopes and prayers was hoping that we were going to get Sean Payton and be both. You know what? So yeah, if we give Adrian Wilson a shot and if we bring Sean Payton in, now I get it. Sean Payton might need to bring his own regime in. This guy demands a lot of respect. This man is going to want to become the end-all be-all, right? If you don't know Sean Payton wants control. So even if you do promote, Adrian Wilson, it's going to be run through Sean Payton if we go that route. If we get another head coach and maybe Sean Payton or maybe Adrian Wilson could be the guy, I'm cool with that. Yeah, you're just building it in the eyes that you think that you're going to be building it, right? So I'm down with Adrian Wilson being the GM. I've said this from the beginning. I even made a tweet about it probably about 2 months ago. that it would be cool to see Adrian Wilson becoming the GM. It would be awesome. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We have somebody say start petition, fire Keim petition. Yeah, I mean, it's going to get there. Trust me. What's up, Arjun? Do you ever plan on doing any live watch party? Maybe the away games, maybe, right? It's tough because I have season tickets, right? So it's you gotta have to pick. So a lot of times they're at home. I've already been to 3 or 4 games this year. So like that's one of the main reasons why I don't do watch parties anymore, because I'm going to the games. You can't really do watch parties at the game. You know what I'm saying? My reception sucks. So this season was a little weird, right? Maybe on a game that it's an away game, we can maybe do something towards the other part of the season. Got 5 games left, so we'll see. All right. Let's do this. We have hit our hour mark, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate every single one of you guys coming through. I really, truly do. I think we peaked at 65. That's not saying a lot. But thank you so very much, everybody, for being here. Thank you for all the super chatters. Thank you so very much for the channel members. Thank you so very much for all the subscribers that came here and talked Cardinals. I know it's not an easy time to talk Cardinals, right? Most Cardinal fans don't want to talk about the Cardinals right now, and I don't blame them. Here, you know where to find me. If ever there's any big news that happens for the Cardinals, you know where to go. I thank everybody for being here. I truly do. If you guys haven't already done so already, smack the like button. It helps the channel grow out tremendously. It helps me out. It helps everything out. And it's the best free thing that you can do to help me out. If you guys haven't followed me on any of my social platforms, all my social platforms are down there. I got Instagram, I got Twitter, and then obviously the YouTube you guys already know because you're here. There's nice clickable links in the description of this video to go and shoot me a follow over there. I'm very active in Twitter. I say some crazy outlandish things on there. So if you want to follow me there, shoot me a follow. Thank you, everybody, for coming through. As always, we have hit our hour mark. Everybody, have a great rest of your day. We will continue the hour-long podcasts tomorrow, not Friday, but we are still going to be shooting out the short videos if that's what you're a fan of as well. Thank you, everybody, for coming through. Have a great rest of your day. It's been an absolute blessing to talk to everybody. Have a great rest of your day, and as always, go Cards.